Ambassador Elena Vasquez closed the diplomatic briefcase with a soft click that echoed through the crystalline chambers of the Galactic Council like a death knell. The silence that followed was deafening. 37 different species, representing thousands of worlds, watched as humanity's chief negotiator stood and straightened her simple black uniform. "The talks are over," she announced, her voice carrying across the vast amphitheater without amplification. "Humanity withdraws from all galactic accords, effective immediately." The reaction was instantaneous. Tentacles writhed, scales rippled, and synthetic voice boxes crackled with protests in dozens of languages. High Chancellor Zixthara of the hegemony rose on her 6 legs, her crystalline exoskeleton flashing warning colors. "You cannot simply walk away from 2 centuries of negotiation," the insectoid leader chittered. "The mining rights to the outer spiral, the trade routes through human space, these agreements are sacred." Elena's smile was cold as winter on old Earth. "Sacred to whom? You've spent 200 years treating humanity like junior partners in our own galaxy. Every proposal we've made has been dismissed. Every innovation we've shared has been claimed by others, and every time we've asked for equal representation, you've reminded us that we're the newcomers." "But you are newcomers," protested Ambassador Veltar, his blue-green skin shifting through emotional spectrums. "The Altarian Republic has existed for 50,000 years. The hegemony traces its lineage back 100 millennia. Humans have barely crawled out of their gravity well. And yet," Elena said, her tone conversational, "in our brief 3 centuries among the stars, we've made more scientific breakthroughs than most of your species achieved in their entire histories. We've solved problems you didn't even know existed, created technologies you still can't comprehend, and opened diplomatic relations with 17 species you'd written off as impossible to communicate with." She gestured to the empty human, delegation seats behind her. "We came here in good faith, again and again. We offered to share our quantum tunneling technology that could cut galactic travel time by 80%. We presented our bio-neural processors that could revolutionize AI development. We even offered to share our cultural archives, art, music, literature that could enrich every civilization here." The hegemony chancellor's mandibles clicked dismissively. "Primitive offerings from a primitive species. We have our own—" "Do you?" Elena interrupted. And for the first time, there was something dangerous in her voice. "Because from where I stand, it looks like your advanced civilizations have been stagnating for millennia. When was the last time the hegemony invented something truly revolutionary? When did the Altarian Republic last discover a new scientific principle? You've all been coasting on ancient achievements while humanity has been innovating at a pace that terrifies you." She began walking toward the exit, her footsteps echoing in the vast chamber. "That's why you've kept us at the children's table, isn't it? Not because we're too young, but because we're moving too fast. In 3 centuries, we've gone from nuclear fission to quantum manipulation. Give us another 3, and we'll surpass everything you've built." "Wait." The voice belonged to Elder Kresh of the Syndicate, his massive form casting shadows across half the chamber. "You speak of walking away, but you forget. We control the hyperspace lanes. We regulate galactic commerce. Without our networks, humanity will be isolated." Elena paused at the chamber's threshold and turned back, her expression pitying. "Elder Kresh, you're thinking like an ancient civilization. You believe control comes from gates and checkpoints, from regulating what already exists." She smiled, and several council members felt an unfamiliar chill. We're not interested in using your hyperspace lanes anymore. The implications of her words rippled through the assembly like a shockwave. The hegemony's trade minister began rapid calculations on his datapad, his exoskeleton shifting to alarmed crimson. The Altarian economic attaché's skin cycled through panic colors. "Impossible," whispered Chancellor Zixthera. "Hyperspace technology requires the crystalline matrices that only exist in hegemony space. Without our permission, without your permission, we invented something better." Elena's voice cut through the growing chaos. "Did you really think we'd spend 2 centuries being dependent on your transportation networks without working on alternatives? While you were congratulating yourselves on controlling galactic infrastructure, we were developing quantum fold technology." The silence that followed was absolute. Quantum fold technology was theoretical, had been theoretical for every known civilization. The mathematics alone were supposed to be beyond any single species' comprehension. 3 days ago, Elena continued, the UES New Horizon completed its first successful fold jump from Sol to Proxima Centauri. Instantaneous travel across 4 light years with no hyperspace lane required, no gates, no regulatory approval, no dependency on anyone else's infrastructure. Elder Kresh's massive form seemed to deflate. The economic implications: if humans can travel anywhere instantly, bypass all our control systems, the entire galactic economy reorganizes around humanity overnight, finished Ambassador Veltar, his skin now a sickly pale green. Trade routes become obsolete. Customs enforcement becomes impossible. Resource monopolies collapse. Elena nodded approvingly. Now you're beginning to understand. For 2 centuries you've maintained power by controlling the roads between stars. But we just learned to fly. She gestured dismissively at the assembled council. Your sacred trade agreements? Worthless? Your strategic resource monopolies? Broken. Your gate fees and transportation taxes? Ancient history. She reached into her briefcase and withdrew a data crystal, placing it on the podium. This contains the complete specifications for quantum fold technology, along with detailed instructions for building the necessary infrastructure. Consider it humanity's farewell gift to the galaxy. The chamber erupted in chaos as representatives scrambled for the crystal, but Elena's voice cut through the noise. Of course, implementing this technology will require rare Earth elements that exist in sufficient quantities on only 3 types of worlds in this galaxy. Worlds that, coincidentally, are found almost exclusively in human space. The scrambling stopped. The silence returned. "So here's humanity's final offer," Elena said, her hand on the chamber's exit control. "You can continue playing your ancient games of bureaucracy and artificial scarcity. You can keep your councils and your committees and your endless debates about who deserves what. Or you can approach us as equals, true equals, and build something better together." She activated the door. "The choice is yours, but choose quickly. In 6 months, the first human fold ships will begin offering transportation services to any world that wants them. No restrictions, no political requirements, no approval needed from any council. Just faster, cheaper, better service than anything you can provide." As she stepped through the doorway, her final words drifted back into the chamber. "We tried to join your civilization. Now you'll have to join ours." The door sealed behind her with a soft hiss, leaving 37 species to contemplate a galaxy where humanity no longer needed their permission for anything. In the silence that followed, Elder Kresh spoke what they were all thinking. How long do we have before they don't need us at all? Nobody answered, because they all knew the truth. In a universe where transportation was instant, resources were abundant, and innovation happened at human speed, the old powers were already obsolete. They just hadn't realized they were already living in humanity's galaxy.